Oh, baseball's back? The MLB's back? We don't care. What's that? We don't care. The Chargers are like, hey, we want this guy. Khalil Mack. The sack attack is going back to California. The former Raider monster was good in Chicago. Now, there are some, like this fellow over here saying, Mack washed up. Bosa, meh. Listen, thinking Khalil Mack is washed up is a brain dead opinion. Here's why you're stupid. If you want to just follow the stat line, here's what you can say about the negatives of getting Khalil Mack if you're the Chargers. Well, we're trading for someone who's going into their age 31 season, coming off an injury. That's it. He was a second team All-Pro in 2020. Put up 7 quarterback hits, 6 sacks in 7 games last year, was injured. And also in Chicago, has been the number 1 threat there. Robert Quinn came along. He's back to being a monster. But what are you going to take off an injured season? I feel like if anything, you give him the time to rest up. He wasn't rushing to get back to the Bears, which were not a playoff caliber team, as we all know. So Mack, I think, was just taking it easy, coasting. He's still near enough to the prime of his NFL career that he can be entirely productive. And then when you add him to a team like the Chargers, who have Joey Bosa, one of the clear top edge rushers in the league, this is a no-brainer. The Chargers are sending the detail. It was a 2nd and a 6th, I believe. I want to see if I can find those. But yes, Khalil Mack is going to be teaming up with Joey Bosa. Rappaport has the details. Chargers sending a 2nd rounder and a 6th in 2023. This is a big-time trade. Now, yes, into his 30s now, double-digit sacks is, who cares? Sacks are a casual stat at this point. What really matters are the pressures, and I think what he was doing in Chicago was kind of flying under the radar. Now, was the foot off the gas pedal a little bit in recent years? Maybe so. Still a 2nd-team All-Pro just the season before this past one. So this guy can still play. And then going with Joey Bosa, this is one of the top edge rush duos, if not the top edge rush duo in the league. And there are some comparable ones, right? But this is the best one in my opinion now. You have 2 clear top 10 edge rushers in the league when Khalil Mack is healthy, when Joey Bosa is healthy, of course. This is a really good pairing. But what the Chargers struggle to do the most is stop the run. Mack is a very good run defender, and we already know what he can do as a pass rusher. What the Chargers need to focus on doing now, and whether that's in the 1st or 2nd round of the draft, is get someone that can eat up space, take up blocks. And maybe that's Jordan Davis, right? Maybe it's Travis Jones. Maybe it's Devontae Wyatt. You need to get someone, maybe it's even somebody from free agency. You need to get someone to eat up space. Pass rush was a bit of a problem for them as they only really had one guy that could do anything in Joey Bosa, but you need to get guys that can stop the run. Mack's going to help that out, but you need guys up the middle of the field, and that's linebacker, that's interior defensive line. But Mack is a major acquisition for a Chargers team that are trying to make the push in the AFC West. The Broncos get Russell Wilson, and they already had a great defense, number 3 in the league in scoring last year. So 3rd fewest points allowed for the Broncos. Unreal. Losing Vic Fangio, who's like, glorified DC even as a head coach. I get that clock management, decision-making as a head coach was a problem. Too much trust and faith in Pat Shurmur, who is clearly not the answer for that Broncos offense, although they were dealing with Teddy Bridgewater, a quarterback, which is less than ideal. However, will that defense stay at that top level? I think they've got the talent to still be very, very good. So I would say still probably about top 10 in the league, even without Fangio, depending on, again, we don't know, but the replacements are in place in Denver for them to stay near that level. And I don't know if the scheme's going to change all that much. So it's a battle for the AFC West. We know how good the Chiefs are. We talked about the heart of the Raiders last year, overcoming so much adversity as a team with the players on their team getting into a lot of trouble, to put it lightly. Coaches as well, of course, head coach, he who shall not be named, John Gruden. The Raiders still managed to do as much as they could to make that playoff push. Very, very impressive that they managed to get in there with Rich Bisaccia as their interim head coach. But the AFC West is shaping up to be the best division in football. Not that it necessarily will be, but it's looking like it will be. And the Chargers with Justin Herbert, they're trying to make that push. You re-sign Mike Williams, 3 years, $60 million. This is a team that wants to be competitive. They realize that this could be their window, even with a young quarterback. Like, they're putting things together right now. So you need to come and bring that defense along, maybe a little bit more protection for Herbert. They've got the weapons. That offense looks amazing. Beefing up the defense. This is an excellent, excellent first step. So it seems like there might be some contract negotiations. So maybe that's, all right, hey, I'll be Los Angeles Chargers. Hey, we'll take half of that contract, Chicago. You keep and pay half of it. It could be something like that. The Bears could pay the bulk of it. Like, I'm sure that's what they mean by tinkering with the contract. And then the physical, which supposedly you'd have to hope that he would pass that. So yeah, Chargers getting Khalil Mack, who is not overrated, who is not washed up, who is still one of the premier edge players in the league, even if that's not, top level, top flight pass rusher at this point in his career. It's not to say that he's not, but is he in that same level as Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, the Bosas? He's probably still close, but it's tough to tell because he only played in 7 games last year. However, still very productive in those games. And yes, can't go game by game, or I can't go game by game when I'm recording like a live reaction. But based off of my understanding of Khalil Mack as a player, based on the production, you can't only look at sacks and say this is a good player, right? That's why 8.5 sacks is, that's not double digits. He doesn't have it anymore. 9 sacks. He doesn't have it anymore. Pressures are more important because pressures lead to sacks for the whole team, not just one player. So when a guy like Kyler Fackrell puts up double-digit sacks, you can't say that he's better than Khalil Mack because you look at one number and say that's the end-all, be-all. You have to look at pressures, and I would say generally Pro Football Focus is a pretty good resource for true pressures, but Pro Football Reference, I meant Focus, if I said reference the first time, but Pro Football Reference tracks them as well. I feel like generally they account for fewer than where it actually is. But even so, 9 pressures in 7 starts really isn't too bad, especially when you consider that he's playing injured. Very, very good player still. He is maybe not in his prime anymore because a prime is a short window. But when you talk about a guy who's been an all-pro multiple times, defensive player of the year once, defensive player of the year runner-up once, first team all-pro multiple times, all-pro second team in 2020, which again was the year before this past one. This guy can still play. Yes, he's going to be 31, but he's now going to have Joey Bosa on the other side. He still should be effective. As long as they can get some guys on the inside to eat up blocks, that's more one-on-one opportunities for both Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, which is going to be hell for opposing quarterbacks in that AFC West. Yes, you got some mobile guys. Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, even Derek Carr a little bit. These guys can move, but it's going to be tough to get out of the way when Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are running at you full steam. So prayers up for some of the AFC West offensive tackles because it's not going to be easy. Big move for the Chargers. They're trying to be a true contender in that AFC West. They missed out on the playoffs last year. They're not trying to have that happen twice in a row with this Justin Herbert ascension. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Major trade. Khalil Mack back to the Bay Area. LA Charger now, Bay Area. No, he's south of the Bay Area. Back to California. They did back to the Bay Area. There was back to Bay, like the alliteration of the double B. But no, that's not where he's going. He's south of the Bay Area to Los Angeles, and he's going to become an LA Charger. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I think this is a great move for the Chargers. Yeah, you're trading a second-round pick, but is Khalil Mack better than anything you will draft in the second round? Almost absolutely. Almost absolutely. 6th rounder next year too. Congratulations, the Bears. You got a great 6th rounder. Bears are entering a rebuild. They're not going to bring back Allen Robinson. And they don't really have a ton of picks. They traded the 1st rounder this year to the Giants. So they don't have a top 10 pick this year that they otherwise would have had. So getting a 2nd rounder in a very deep draft class, I think that's a great move for the Bears. Khalil Mack, clearly not part of your long-term future, as they don't feel like this is their window, and they're right about that. So that's the video. I've outroed this 3 or 4 times now, but thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.